Hi, Nicola.
Hey, we're back for another week.
We are.
Back in our happy place, and we're in a great big studio here. It's
I'm
pretty
loving
special.
The studio, yeah.
It's really good in our backyard and our happy place. But, you know, another happy place for us is the beaches, and we're kind of lucky where we live. And being on the beach, our next guest was actually spotted. It's quite funny. He was spotted, and he was out spotting something himself.
He was, yeah.
And he actually had a crowd of people around him talk about storytelling. And a friend had said, you know, this man I've met is so interesting. And so we had a coffee.
We took him to coffee.
And how did that go?
And it was Nicola, me and John. And look, honestly, I was going for 20 minutes. I had a really busy day. And I think we were with him for 2 hours.
That's right.
And Nicola and I, when we started the podcast, we decided that we need more storytelling, you know, connection, you know, with each other, and the power of human connection, how important that is. And we walked away and we both went, we've got John. Everyone has to hear John.
I know.
Everyone has to hear his stories.
You know, because everything is the best thing for us to is storytelling. You know, like it's the best way of learning some things, hearing some people sharing stories.
Tell us a little bit about John.
We've got John Fejo, who's a First Nations man with a deep connection to storytelling, culture and country. He's a father. He's a grandfather, believe it or not. He doesn't look like that, and he's only in his 40s. But John works in environmental services as a senior coordinator and is also an AI and drone technology specialist, using these tools in practical ways to help track sharks, turtles and other marine life along the coastline. And it's such a fascinating story because, you know, you're a man of the land. You know so much about Mother Nature. So you've got that.
That's our mantra, John.
Yeah,
Mother Nature.
That working
100%.
in tech blended together.
It's fabulous.
And as Di said, you know, the coffee was 2 hours. You know, if it was going to be 20 minutes, was 2 hours.
It really was.
So welcome to our back fence
John.
here. We've got to share you with everyone.
Seriously.
No worries. Thanks for having me, girls. This was, you know, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I believe, anyway. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me to be on the northern beaches.
How did that come about?
Yes, tell us.
Because, to be honest with you, a lot of our beaches have been closed lately because of sharks in Sydney, Australia, for all your international listeners. And you're being brought down here to use drones and look for sharks. Tell us how you firstly been flown here, and secondly, what do you do?
It came about with me having a relationship with the techie team, KJR, and KJR are an AI systems company. And I grew a good relationship with them 4 years back in North Queensland. And I myself, being First Nations, have a passion of being connected to country. And it was invited to a hackathon in Cairns that we have every year with First Nations people and KJR and a group of team of techies and nerds who actually love tech but want to empower First Nations with that very skill set to help create a solution for a problem in their community using tech. So I myself did not go to school. I was not very fortunate enough to go to school. It's not that I wasn't fortunate enough. It's just that country was everything for us, and we learnt everything off the land, and that's how we learn our education, or that was our educational system. In saying that, I was invited to go to this university tech hackathon, and I said to the person who invited us, I said, "Why are you sending me? I never went to school, and more importantly, there's going to be techies and nerds there, so I don't even know their language." And they said, "John," he goes, "you do all this stuff already on the beach with your turtles, and you're in mangroves mucking around, and then you're also out hunting, shooting, fishing, and every other thing that you do on the land." He goes, "Instead of you walking the whole country, why don't you create a system that can help you do that by flying drones?" And I'm like, "Okay, how do I do that?" He goes, "Go and find out." And so I went along. And long story short is that a journey that started off as what we would say or consider as darkness or just absence of knowledge turned into now a visual understanding where not only do I understand it, walk it and talk it, but I own a drone business now. I fly drones for a living, or I've just gone into my own business as of end of last year. And one thing just led to another, and I've just been patient, and here I am on the northern beaches where the same team, KJR, were approached by SLSS, which is the surf life-saving system here in New South Wales, with the New South Wales government and the DPI, and they were just brought in to actually bring a drone dock trailer, which is something that can be used fully autonomous. And what the team uses...
A drone
dock trailer. So what that means is that it has a drone, but it's in its own little nest, or its own little house, you could say, and we could fully fly it autonomously. And what that means is that with a BVLOS, which is Beyond Visual Line of Sight, if you get that through CASA, through the accreditation, you can then fly these things remotely, and the boss could be literally from Canada, or he could be in Canberra or Brisbane, and I could be in North Queensland or the Northern Territory, or here in Sydney on the northern beaches, and they could be flying it while I go on lunch.
It's amazing, isn't
That's
it?
beyond.
I think it is
Remotely, in other words.
Remotely, in other words.
Technology.
Incredible.
And I love the start of your story too, and for anyone there, how life can change in sort of a flash like that. You know, you had no idea.
Yeah.
But using it, such a smart thing with all your knowledge there, and congratulations now, you know, you're an entrepreneur, you've got your own business.
Fabulous.
And so tell us what you're doing in the northern
Yeah.
beaches, how it's
So
sort of
what's
working,
going
what
on
you're
with the
spotting, and
drones?
why are there so many
Yeah.
sharks that are closing our beaches?
Is that why you were brought here? You were getting, so you got the drones and...
So no,
Yeah.
we were brought here to actually implement a system.
Yeah.
And implementing a system by understanding how my connection to the land is very, very misunderstood in this time and this era of life that we're in. Why? Because our focus is taken away. We want instant coffee, or we want instant gratification, or we want something that's just gonna fill us for a moment. But that's sad, because then that's moved on motivation. Motivation is only on the outside of a man, but discipline is actually on the inside of a man. He has to actually go through things. He has to be tested. So coming to a place like this on the northern beaches, and everyone's saying, oh, there's so much more sharks, when really there isn't. It's just
Tell us about that.
It's just our consciousness has been woken up.
Wow.
See, drones now have shown something from above that we can physically see now. You've got 80 pilots up and down the coast looking for sharks. And everybody can see a shark. And I mean, it's understanding, yeah, okay, we look at the 4 predominant species, especially somewhere in Sydney. Being a great white would be your number one. Then you go to your tiger shark, bull shark, and then all the other sharks coming down underneath, bronze whalers. So bronze whalers are similar to a bull shark, but they've got a specific skill set. And every single shark has a skill set. Every single shark has a boundary. Not every shark can go everywhere. If that was the case, then Mother Earth wouldn't have a boundary. She wouldn't have a moon cycle. So we don't just look at Earth as just Earth. We look at her as our mum. Just like you, she's mother to us all. But us as First Nations, she's not just mother to us all. We're connected to her. We feel her. We don't walk on her because, oh, she's Earth and we're out in the bush. No, because she knows the intent of our heart. A mother comforts their baby. She loves them that much that she feels when they're going through struggles, testing times, trials, tribulations. Something that a child can't take to their dad, but yet they know they can feel the love and the warmth of their mum when it holds them and it grabs them. Well, she can't physically do that. But how she does that is by us walking on her without shoes. So then the energy she gives from the ground up and comforts our heart eclipses all man's wisdom. Why? Because she's a mum. She can only give life. No mother would want to hurt their child. So all she does is create boundaries. So then she's given us these beautiful things on the earth that we just see and we just take for granted. Why? Because our world doesn't consist of your world. Our world consists of country. Country for us doesn't mean that, oh, you're just living out in the bush. No, it's a language that projects life. That's all it can project. But the saddest part about it is that because of an event that happened 250 years ago, our language got distorted because it was taken away from us. Is it gone forever? No, it isn't. Because I'm born to this law. I'm born to her. I'm connected to her. So are you. Now, my grandfather left me with something very powerful. And he said disruption will always follow intention. So I asked him, so what does that mean? He said, past perceived voids present present perceived values. I said, okay, that sounds awesome. And he said, I still can't understand it. You got to understand that he's talking to me in a cultural language with a limited knowledge base that he had to articulate to me for me to understand, because I'm not living in your world at this time and this space. I'm a kid that he's explaining this to. Being very frank, really, from 1 to 11, and this would have been around 8, 9 years of age. A kid to comprehend something like that a grandfather's telling you, is an experience that not only he experienced, but 4 generations before him passed through him from an event that happened. But yet the language that he was giving me was before an event. So what was that language? You look at all of our rock art all around Australia, you look at most of our carvings, you don't see a dialect written on one of these things. But yet you see that there's a holistic language that's written in there. Why? Because everything that's being drawn or left behind for us to see as our library is actually seasons, times, calendars, how she moves, how she talks. More importantly, it's a boundary that we live in. So me coming over to the northern beaches looking at sharks, number one thing was
I love how you're bringing this back around to shark.
I know.
Were you lost in that, Nicola?
Yeah, I guess I was.
I was so... It's like I just watched my favourite movie.
Yeah.
And when you finish the movie, you're like, oh, that was great.
No,
and
it's
I just
so
love
true.
how you brought that back around.
back to a shark.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's so true.
I mean, it's so hard to even ask a question because I feel like I'm interrupting this magic, but you brought it back to sharks.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, you just got to understand something. That
We've got fear of sharks in the ocean, understandable.
And that's
At our
understandable.
beaches,
Yeah,
because there's been
thought,
attacks
when you were
and
just saying
deaths
too, I just thought that there was, more attacks now.
than normal.
They're normal,
Yeah,
right?
Yes,
it's been a lot
with
of
the drones
rain.
you're seeing
There's
more,
been a lot
but
of rain.
there has
Yeah.
been, and is that to do with Mother Nature because of the rain, because of those?
No. It also comes back to ignorance. You got to realise something, that even though that we're human beings and we're apex predominant species on the earth, we're still ignorant of our surroundings. When yet we're the apex predators. But when we go into the water, we're just human beings. You got to realise something. A child can only understand or do what they see, what is in front of them. So their mum and their dad, what they're reflecting today, tomorrow, actually conforms that child to be that person in the future, whether we like it or we don't. The saddest thing about it is that a lot of children don't understand that because you're closed off to that world. Again, going back to what my grandfather said, he finished off with something. He said, 250 years ago when a boat came, he goes, what if they came for one reason? Because you have to realise something. You came to a country or a place only found one place in history, or only found one place in the whole world, a country that's literally different to every other country. And why are we different to every other country? Because around our specific country, our continent, is the only continent that has the ocean around it. There's no other country
that's
like
actually true. I forget that.
Why? You all see us as just Australia. We actually see us as the seed of a womb.
As
a seed of a womb.
Seed.
wow.
Just like every mother. Where does the seed go? Into the womb of a woman. But did you not know, and you should know this as you're a woman, and that you were born inside your grandmother. Your mother had your eggs, and so did so did she have your daughter's eggs. And it's sad, but that's the truth of it. A lot of us don't understand that. Me as a masculine seed, that we're taught as, I might have a dominant seed, but my seed, what I do today ripples for 4 generations. I'm responsible for what happens to 4 generations of my children, of the decisions I make today. Not the choices I make, the decision. There's a difference.
Yes.
A choice, I have multiple options. A decision, you have to follow through, whether you fail or you don't. But that decision ripples for 4 generations. Choices don't. A decision always ripples. Why? Because it has been in sync with that person. But the beauty about that decision is not just the person or the masculine dominant scene making that decision. It's husband and wife. Why? Because I might love Mother Earth and I might walk on her and I might cherish her and understand her and she might comfort my heart. But the reality is, a wife can't go without a husband. Why? Because to us as First Nations, or to me predominantly, is that a wife sets the boundary, which is Mother Earth, but a father enforces it, or her husband. The beauty about that is that she then articulates to us a language to understand then a specific species we want to look at. For instance, going back a little bit more to when you first introduced me, I'm originally from the Northern Territory. My grandfather's a Larrakia, Dungalaba, what man. I gave you a specific area, is what I just said, which is Northern Territory, in your English language. Then I gave it to you in my cultural language, Larrakia. But then I also gave you Dungalaba, what, meaning his father's land, and where they came from. Or the totems that we come under. So every Aboriginal person has totems, as in totems. Not singular, but in plural. Why? Because Mother Earth goes off only one thing. Every 28 days you women go through something. It's no different with her. Every 28 days she goes through something. And she brings up a full moon.
Oh yeah, which is on its way now.
Yeah,
which is on its way
it's
right
I looked at the moon
now.
last
You know,
night.
John, hearing
love
you
these
speak
stories.
this way, because it's sort of like, you know, we do feel disconnected in this world, and that's why I sort of find it interesting how you're working in an AI world. But, you know, it's because we're feeling disconnected sometimes from Mother Earth. And, you know, you sort of said, get your shoes off. And we're sort of slower to learning, but we're going, we know that's better when you're grounding and walking. But hearing these stories and hearing you speak that way, and I think for our listeners here, it's wonderful hearing this from you because you're so deeply connected. And I think there's a yearning from all of us, especially with technology at this rapid pace, and there's a lot of great things for it.
Exactly.
But also we feel we're disconnected, and that's what with you. It's great if you can help us with tools or what you think, because we all have to live
100%,
together,
Nicola.
and a way of that we can share and we share this planet together. It's a disconnect. So help us.
So I love when he just said about
reconnect.
every 28 days
Yes,
a woman
yeah.
is a cycle.
The moon.
And that's relative to the moon.
Exactly.
Like-
Well, she's a mum just like you. I gave her an agenda. She's a woman. So a lot of us don't seem to comprehend, and we try to make it so super spiritual. We try to take it so far out there when she...
Because when I was in boarding school, if one girl got a period, most of us would end up locking in at the
We're
same
in
time.
sync a lot. with
Exactly.
women too. It's amazing.
So is that relative to what you're saying with the
you
moon
think about
cycle?
it. I mean, I'm not
You're
being...
connected, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's like fascinating.
I can't really speak in that area, but that's where my wife
it's true what you
speaks.
just said about every 28 days.
Exactly, every 28 days. So
Yeah.
that area where you just said that,
Yeah.
that's for you women, and that's where you wives really, you ladies speak. We stopped doing that. We even stopped doing that. And I mean, not per se in the First Nations world, but that's where we're strong. Because we know us men don't speak in that place. And we know then women can't speak in certain places where men do. And this is where the overlaps happens in your world. And we look at you and like, why? Why you do that? And then at the same time, we're like, well, that must be how their world
So how do
operates.
we learn and
How
how do
they
we
work,
integrate
yeah.
more, John?
So, for instance, going back to when, and you'll always hear me revert back to an event. Why? Because my grandfather founded me on that. And what he mean by he founded me on that is that a boat came 250 years ago. You just got to realise something. When a boat came 250 years ago, people seen 1,000 people come. Let's go back to history a bit. And there was a people that came. Those people that came here weren't actually free people. They had to come here because hadn't they stayed in their certain area, something bad would have happened to them there. But what we don't realise is we just look at that event and those specific people. But like I said to you earlier, the only continent, the only country on the world that has the ocean around it. Why? Because every tongue and every nation came that day. We just put it focused on to one specific area, the colonisation or who we're colonised by right now, which is sad, but it's the truth. Yes, a lot of trauma will come out of this, but the reality is that event brought every country, every tongue and every nation. What does that mean? My grandfather said, he goes, past perceived voids presents present perceived values. I said, okay. And he goes, what that really means is, what if they came to us, every tongue, every country, every nation, for one specific reason? I said, what's that? For us to fill a void in their heart. Because they were connected to her, just as we are. But it was taken away from them a long time ago.
Oh,
And she
wow.
just wants to talk to him again.
That's amazing
Honestly,
hearing that, isn't
I'm
it?
just,
Yes, yeah.
I don't know about you guys listening, but I float when John talks.
Yes.
I'm coming back to the moon though. What? Tell me about the moon
So-
cycles and us and Earth.
And so if you would have heard it just then,
For everybody.
she wants to connect with you. You actually come from, not being rude, you're probably born in Australia, and that's understandable. So you are an Australian, whatever. But talking to somebody on the hill the other day, Bilgola, he's from German, his mum and dad, German, grandparents German, fully German, but born in Australia. And he goes, but when I went home, it felt like I was home. But I wasn't born here. He goes, but everything, he goes, I can't look for history in your world, in your country, 250 years ago. But he goes, when I go back there, I can go back 2,000 years and see this history. Whereas us, we can go back 65,000 years. How? Just by being connected to her. You don't have to be in your very home. Like a lot of people got to realize is that Mother Earth is everywhere. So we go off our three calls. So Mother Earth is one of them. But I told you, and I sort of hinted to you, is that, well, I can physically touch my mum. I can physically see her and all the beauty that she gives us. Walk on her and feel her warmth and her love. But at the same time, I can abuse her love too. At the same time, I can disrespect her. Just like any child. You know, we all know this, and most of us has been there, and listeners that are here today, that we played up when mum didn't want, all right, you got to get up and do the chores. You got to get up and do this. You got to get up and do that. You got to do your homework. You got to mow the lawn. You got to take out the rubbish. Do your dishes. And then all of a sudden, a little bit of backbone comes into the teenager, daughter or son, doesn't matter who it is. No, I don't need to do that. No. As okay. Second time they say, first time they say no. Oh, can you please do it again? The mother would ask, nice and calmly. Oh, all right. Well, wait till your father gets home. What happens when dad gets home? The kid gets up and does the job, does their chores, and they start getting on and doing their thing, right? Well, the reality is that that's true. We all been down that road. It's not the father's coming in and overpowering the mother. What's the father really doing? All he's doing is enforcing the boundary the mother created in the house. So the child is stepping out of that boundary, and all the father's doing is saying, you're not an adult yet, you are still a child, and that's where you got to learn from, because I can't give you what your mother can give you, warmth, love, patience, you know, and all of these deadly attributes that a mother has. Whereas a father is more, you know, sturdy, strong, you know, has this masculine divinity of getting him or her ready for a world to come. But all he really turns their child back to the attention of doing one thing. What's that? Listening to their mum. So, getting back to where you said, well, you know, how do we get connected? Or how do we get to the place of being with Mother Earth again?
Particularly the moon. I'm obsessed by the moon.
Yeah.
Particularly the moon. So you go off the moon. So if you have a look at... So Mother Earth, she speaks in many different languages, but the predominant languages that she speaks to us in is in our animal kingdom. Why? Because we're given totems. When I introduced myself and I said, I'm John Vijo, I'm from the Northern Territory, but my grandfather's Larrakia, Dungalaba, Watwat. So here's now 3 generations of people coming through. But then our generation changed. Why? Because I moved from my specific area, where I'm originally from in the Northern Territory, because of colonisation, and they gave us a reserve. And they put us on a reserve, so we didn't live next to these animals no more. Why? Because one of them were coastal and the other one was more river systems and estuaries. What were those animals? Well, Dungalaba for us is a crocodile. What for us is a green frog. It's like, what the heck? Why would you go off these two different animals, or these 2 distinctive animals? Then, let's say the 70s, 80s, 90s, when we came into existence, which is the next generation from my mother's lineage, we were then moved inland and we lived out in a reserve. And that's when our totems system changed again. But only those who could actually see it and understand it. She does hide herself too. Why? You've got to realise something. A mother has a duty. What is her duty? To protect her seed. It's just like any mother. The moment she's pregnant, she doesn't start being around her friends and everybody else and family members and all those things. She starts hiding herself away. She starts protecting the seed, and she's got a limited amount of time to make sure that baby comes into the world nice and healthy and strong, right? Just like you. But for her to have that and her to do that, she needs a husband to actually create that ground or nurture or that environment to have these things around her. So just like Mother Earth, just like you just saying, well, how are we connected to her? What about the moon cycle? Well, in the moon cycle, we have 2 different seasons. So you have 28 days of the moon cycle. So you have 14 days of light and then 14 days of darkness. So because we know that there's 14 days of light and 14 days of darkness, we have 3 animal kingdoms then. We then have to associate with. Why? Because we've been given totems. So if I was to ask you about totems, you would then revert back to the 2 that I just said, a crocodile and what, right? Well, no, that's not necessarily what I'm really saying to you. So here's a hidden language within the language. Okay? So totems to us, or totems to me, and totems to what my grandfather taught me were there's only 2 animal species in the whole kingdom. I have 3 animal kingdoms, which is water, land, air, but I only have 2 animal species in all of them, which is crazy because there's thousands of animals all over the world, but there's only 2 animal species in all of them, and that's predator and prey. Because we've got to have balance in the land. If there's one or too many, we have imbalance, which is what's happening right now.
So can we going back, interesting, you're saying this to the very start when we're going with the sharks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is
I'm loving predator and prey.
Bring that back now. You're amazing how you with it. Have we got too many? Are we out of balance that way now?
Predator
Well,
and
ask yourself
prey, wow.
something. I said to you, a lot of the questions that get asked to me on Bilgola Hill is that why is there so many sharks? And what did I say to you? There's not too many sharks. It's just our consciousness has been what? Awoken. Meaning, have we been asleep? Have we been blind, deaf, naked? You've got to realise something. This was a clothing that was actually yours. But you just never came over with that clothing. That wasn't embedded into you. That wasn't given to you. That world wasn't imparted into you. Because it was stripped away from you from years and years ago. When your world and your place where you're originally from where your fathers' are originally from, was stripped from them. Yet we're only 250 years old. So it's not stripped from us, it's our clothing, it's who we are. We don't just talk about it, we walk, we live and we breathe it. Most of us are actually in a place where we're confused. Why? Because technology or education or what happened 250 years ago. So fortunate enough, we weren't brought up to stay at an event, or should I say, not an event, sorry, more so to stay at the past, but we rather stayed in a place of present. So, me now reverting back to all of these sharks.
Yeah, predator and prey.
Predator and prey.
Yeah.
I can change anything I want on any human being today with technology, the specialists you have, the doctors you have, the money you've got. You could do anything you want on any human being, right? You can change whatever you want. What can't you change? Their eyes. Why is that important? Well, to tell a predator different to a prey, you got to look at their eyes. Because a predator, his eyes are fixed, tight and close. And it's really tight that it's going to stick to a target and wants to kill it. That's what we've been taught, not as First Nations. A predator to us is actually keeping everything on the inside of a boundary. What does that mean? That's pretty crazy. You can think about this now. So, everything on the inside of a boundary, this is a boundary right here, right now, okay, the room that we're sitting in. Everything on the inside of this here is where everything that is not predator, but prey that lives. So everything that is prey that's living on the inside of this boundary actually makes everything all connect and live. And they all live off one thing, the moon cycle. And they never go outside of their boundary. Most importantly is that yous are just focusing now on the animal. Now I'm going to take it just one more step a little bit more deeper. every animal, including a shark, a crocodile, and every other animal that's on the face of the earth, are all associated to one thing that's on the earth that everybody has access to. Actually, we become the embodiment of it, and that's a tree. And yes, I said a tree, a physical tree that you have outside. Why? Because when that full moon comes, every tree, their sap is at the highest point of that tree. Meaning that tree is at the most dominant, powerfulest form it could ever be on the face of the earth. And all we're looking at is trees. When little not even knowing that we're actually those species being in human form walking on the earth. We just stop listening to it. So yeah,
You've left us speechless.
I'm just going.
It doesn't happen too much. I sort of
Do you know
I
what,
was waiting for
Nicola and I's
Diane.
mantra? If you want to heal, go into nature.
We do,
and this
you know,
is why we've brought John in,
it
because
certainly is music
I hope
to our
if you're
ears.
driving the car on a long distance, I hope, because this is the magic Nicola and I feel is lacking in our world, is more appreciation. And you talked about grounding. I mean, you read many an article about grounding yourself.
Yeah.
You said take your shoes off, feel your feet in nature. Oh my God, I do it often.
It's so true, you know,
Yeah.
Diane. You know, and like, you know, with the moon and how we're affected with it when you're born, where the moon cycle is, and all those things are so
and the
important.
saps in the tree.
Howling to the moon, crying to the moon. We all get affected so much by
When
the
the
moon.
moon is in the
we're just gonna
seventh
start
hour.
singing.
But it is.
The Sorrento moon,
I'm
we're in
affected by
Sorrento
the- oh, yeah, I
moon,
remember
you know,
that.
like wherever you are. But you know, it's just great to hear this, because you know,
I love it.
we are disconnected a lot. We are lost from that, and that's
We're
but
disconnected.
we do know now so much of we feel the basics of walking in nature. You know, Di's favourite thing is swimming in the ocean. But I guess sort of just being realistic,
With
you know,
the sharks.
Aussies here going, but
Predator
there's more
or
sharks
prey.
here. But it's really good for us to listen to sort of stories like this of a real appreciation of, you know, where it's all come from, and, you know, where we are sort of like they're sort of disconnected, and, you know, so thank you for bringing us sort of
It's
closer.
so true what
and-
you just said about the stories are helping us to appreciate it that much more. And some of them are, you know, the stories are, you know, Dreamtime, very much like around Mother Nature, but through that it is teaching us that appreciation
the seasons of life.
nature.
and,
What,
you
the
know,
sap's in the tree because of the full moon. I'll never look at a tree because I always go out
Yes.
in full moon and talk to the moon, as you do.
Yeah.
I will now go and look at the trees, but then again, you're saying
But then again,
it affects us.
your conscious now has been woken.
Yeah, well, it's
And see,
yeah.
this is what a lot of people got to understand, is that our world and your world do actually consist. And you know what's actually making it stronger and better? It might not for the moment, but it will grow. Why? Because it's at an infant state, which is technology. We see tech as something that's deriving or breaking a generation up, when actually it's bringing us closer.
Okay, you need
Wow.
to elaborate on that one, John.
Yeah. And if anyone's
Because
coming
you
from
confused
anyone,
me from trees with saps and full moons to
Well,
that.
you've got to
well, we have to
That's what I
integrate.
mean.
So I think it's
well,
great.
so
You see, that's
so
your
how do we
world.
do that?
You just got to realize something. We come from a world of connecting to her, and that's everything. And we base everything off that. Like, we long to get home. We could feel home calling us. I live in North Queensland with my wife on her beautiful country, and I feel home call me.
Oh, you're missing it? You're going to be home soon. Oh, look, tears.
I
and
know, look
I
at
know.
you.
And your grandchildren.
But you are
and that.
home, though, are you not? Even here
I'm home, I'm
in
home.
nature.
The world
Don't
is
get me
home,
wrong.
but-
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But what you've got to realize is that good times create weak times or weak people. What does that mean? That means they're not weak as in because it's been too good for them. It's just a generation hasn't been through something that they didn't have to work hard for, or they didn't have to get up and do it because something was always created for them or provided for them. So what do weak times or what do weak people create then? Bad times, which is sad, but it's true, because they didn't go through the struggles. They didn't go through the hard times. This generation missed it, or a generation missed it.
No. But, you know, everyone, I guess, has their own
Has
personal
their personal.
struggles and stuff.
So then you get to a point of, well, what do bad times create, or what do bad people create? Not everybody is bad, and I'm not saying people are bad, but I'm just saying they didn't go through struggles to inherit something that was really theirs, that was living, that was inside of them, until they hit rock bottom. People have been there. It doesn't matter what age you're at. But all that really is telling you is that I'm creating something that is so beautiful, uniquely yours. The purpose and the intent that you was created for. Why? So then when the bad times come, it creates the strong man in you. That strong thing that was always imparted into you through a seed. But you had to go through those bad times to break it, to lift it, to make it, to mold it, to create it, to smash everything around it. So then that way what you thought was high and powerful and strong and beautiful, yet destroyed in a moment of twinkling of an eye. Then all of a sudden you start creating and building, getting back to the place of what you really are and who you really are and your voice and what you can articulate in the world. And then how can then you bring a world that is so far away, that is so far fewer fetch can touch, and yet to a world that is right in front of you that you think, man, how do I bring both of these two together? And then you go from a place of becoming not only strong then and powerful in yourself, but you become a very place where you now create good in the land again.
And so how do you feel
And so
AI and the internet and all of these sort of things, social media, how do you think
Exactly.
that
So
can be
you s-
integrated?
So you've got to realise that we've now transitioned from a place of being so connected to her and knowing the value and the life that she gives through us to people,
Mhm.
to a people that actually don't understand her or know her. They walk on her. They know what she says, but they don't know what she's saying. Two different sort of sayings here. You've got to realise something. It's like, I get a cup of water, and I'm going to drink water. I'm like, okay, awesome. Why am I going to drink water? Am I thirsty? Do I need it? I know what it says, but I don't know what the water's saying when I drink it. Because when it goes into me, what does water do to your body? Refreshes you, cleanses you, makes your mind clear, gives you oxygen to your brain, awakens you. See, we want to get one thing of the instrument by getting connected to her. That's awesome, being grounded. But just remember, a mum has a husband. You can't just have one and not the other. So where does tech come into this? You got a generation now of, I don't know, are they called the X generations? Or
Well, there's Gen X's
Gen
and there's
X's.
all... Yeah, it's,
so you got this Gen X generation that's coming that are going to be, whether we like it or not, technological.
Mhm.
they're the younger
Every-
ones.
That's
yeah,
a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every community that I go to, every community in Australia, and that's not just Australia, this is around the world.
Yeah.
Nearly every single person around the country, around the continent, has got a technological device in a community, whether we
Yeah.
like it or we don't.
Yeah.
But the reality is, again, going back to, we know what it says, but we don't know what it's saying. So the reality now is coming back to the place now of teaching and understanding a world that we know of, that is really here, that's consistent. Literally, that is present every day. What is that world? Take your shoes off and walk outside. Go away from tech.
Loving this. Now I know where you're going with this. Okay.
Exactly.
Love
So,
that.
because, or we hurt ourselves by, one thing my grandfather always taught us is, don't play around with fire. That's why.
So what's our solution then?
Well, managing it.
Right.
You got to realise something.
Take your shoes off.
We can't.
Balance.
But
Exactly.
it's here,
You got to
and
be
you need to-
grounded.
yeah.
You got to get to the place of understanding of saying, yes, okay, we know that there's tech here, but what's the underlying behind tech? What is the very thing that's driving tech? What's driving any AI technological, anything that is not connected to countries? You got to realise something. When I'm talking from a place of country, we're talking, that's our driving source. That's everything that moves, connects, and drives us. But something has come in and confused my people. But it came from your will. So what's that thing that confused us? It isn't actually technology. It isn't actually AI. They're just tools that are on the earth. But that tool is actually driven by something. And the only thing that drives your will, and not being rude, but is money. Money drives your will. So because it drives your world, it uses these other devices to actually takes people's focus away from who? The one that is consistent.
So how do we
Mother
integrate
Nature.
it then,
Mother
John?
Nature.
You know, like, you know, it's... What do you suggest? Because you're working in it so, you know, you're an expert at it.
Well, well, that's why
You're an entrepreneur in this AI
that's
world.
why,
So
yeah.
tell us, because, you know, there must be some benefits or there's not, or tell us, you know.
There's awesome benefits because right now today, we're talking in an office or in a room that can touch thousands of people.
Correct.
So that connects us to where years
Beautiful.
ago we're connecting to that person in Germany.
Yes,
Or your
exactly.
wife can watch
Yeah.
us or on FaceTime,
Yeah.
which is, you know...
Oh, they can
those
drive the
things
drone
there.
anywhere
Yeah.
in the world. I love that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So we kind of like, you know, just sort of bringing everyone in back together of this is where we are now.
Yes.
Is it a
You know.
predator or a prey?
Yeah.
The internet.
Is it the shark? Is it looking at you? Well, it is looking at us, isn't it?
Well,
with those eyes.
again, it comes back to that development. It comes back to the place of being grounded in that, of your upbringing, of knowing what was important in life. And I think that's what we've all gone away from. What's important in life? You know, you've seen me touch on something where it hit me, and
Yes.
a lot of and you thought, oh, you know, you miss country, you miss home. When I went into that space, it wasn't about me going back home. It was about my wife and my kids.
I was going to say family, yeah.
family, yes,
yeah, I get
The
that.
most important
It's
thing
the
on
It
earth.
is.
Yes,
It
yeah,
is. I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
we get caught up. There's so much noise in the world. Mums and dads and husbands and wives and children are going this way and that way. And we don't stop and think until calamity hits us. That's the only time we stop.
It's interesting, John, when you know we speak to so many different people, and
It's
it is
true.
those sometimes. It's always takes sort of like that rock bottom moment in whatever
Yep.
area it is, to then.
a favourite word.
It is, yeah,
Rock
but to be
bottom.
aware of different things,
Yep.
and you know, so
Yeah, it's calamity. I love that word.
yeah, calamity.
I haven't heard that for years.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
it's
let's
a
go
good
back
one.
to the shark
I
now.
also
You
love
know,
the
yeah.
noise.
Yeah, let's go back to the shark.
Love the way you
Yeah.
take yourself back to the shark.
Back to because you got the people, the Bilgola headland. They're looking out. Do we go in the water
Back
or
to the
not?
shark.
Exactly, because there was a lot of fear when I got there, and there was,
Yes.
you could feel it off
Yeah.
people's
Yeah,
projection and how
absolutely.
people were
True.
talking.
Yeah.
Why? Because again, ignorance, knowledge. People perish for a lack of knowledge. That's only why people perish. They don't perish because they're getting older. They don't perish because we're eating the wrong things. We perish because of a lack of knowledge. Why is knowledge so powerful and so good? But knowledge without comprehension is just information. And our kids are getting thousands of it off a device. So how do we help minimize that, or how do we strengthen that? You've got to realize we're looking for future leaders tomorrow. What about the leaders today? We don't have any future leaders tomorrow if we don't have leaders today. People to stand up and just say, hey. People to be in their own homes. People to be in who are teachers, or people that are leading the country, or people that are just role models in the earth. Leaders today. You get to the point of turning around and saying, you know what, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I need to slow down. Maybe I need to start listening. Maybe I need to recenter myself and stop allowing every voice around me to dictate my thoughts, or getting validation by a person or a man, or by an AI, or by a tech. When the most powerfulest thing that's on life, or on humanity right now, on the face of the earth, is Mother Nature. Right now.
Wow. So it's just there, John. What would you suggest
I agree.
then? Because you know you've got a phone, you've got that. Well, I don't know whether your children do or
Got
not.
drones and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, So what do you suggest then where we do? Because you know we do
reconnect?
want to be connected to nature, and it's so good to hear that. But we are in this world and we're using this, and what do you to help us all get connected as one? You know, whether you know you're born here or you've come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That we all share planet Earth together as human
Exactly,
beings.
exactly.
You know, so. To
so
help
most
us all
importantly,
as human beings.
As just like anything, and you know this, by grounding yourself. But grounding yourself now with information of understanding why she's a mum now connecting to you.
Yeah.
So just like you, when you were playing up, you went home to be comforted by your mum. Now, I don't know where your mothers are, and you know, your ladies.
They're looking down on us from there in the stars, you know. Now.
But a lot of yous are looking up there for an answer. when your parents were just parents that were actually given a responsibility for a season in their life. Why? Because we're earthly beings we're spiritual beings having an earthly experience. So we really are. You were chosen out of 4,999.9 million seeds. You were chosen to express the image of life on the earth. And you only have a limited time to do it. Now, though you've been through that, whatever it was, up until now to what you heard, consciousness has now been woken up. Why? Because of your experiences. Don't look outside of you for an answer, look within you.
Bingo.
Bingo. Well,
you're asking me to validate something that I can't validate. You're asking a person to validate something when you're already connected to it. I told you, my grandfather said, we come to fill a void that's already in them. They're already empty. Why? Because it was taken. But something can't be taken from you if you believe and know that it is yours. You know that you're connected to her. You don't need no validation from a man. All you need to do is accept and believe and walk in it. Feel it. Whether it's swimming at Bilgola, whether it's walking in the bush or walking in Sydney. You know, you could be anywhere where you're walking right now. In your own backyard. Every man's castle is his home, isn't it?
I just know that at night when I go out and look at the sky, I almost grab the sky and use it as a blanket around me. And the moon is just like the crown.
And the stars too.
It's actually not so much going back to my past history as much as it's been very present with what is. Because I remember I was just in America on a quick break, and I remember seeing the saucepan in the sky. And then last night I saw the saucepan in the sky and I went, oh, we're all one. You know, we've got wars going on, there's so much disruption in the world, and yet it's funny, you go into nature and you go, we're all one, we're all connected.
Oh, Di, that's so beautiful to hear that. It's a connection.
No, but something I felt when you were talking.
But it is, and I think that's why also you've been such a gift for, you know, I mean, our local community, and for that too. Also hearing this, that it really is that sort of that message of how we are sort of so connected, and the ultimate thing is whatever avenue, the longer that we live and we're students of life, the solution to nearly anything is still like looking within, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, and the answers, you know, when we're looking for this external validation, whether it's, you know, then you're going through the phone or through this, any answer, or from someone else, does this look good or whatever, it's always within.
So here,
because once you look within,
it's a beautiful gift you've.
Once you look
the
within,
way you shared that, John.
She expounds such a knowledge that is so profound to you individually, to share to the rest of the world.
Oh.
Why? Because you're not hiding your light no more and putting it underneath the pillow.
love that.
You're putting it in the
Not
window so
hiding
everybody can
light.
see.
Let's say
Your
that
light
again.
anymore hidden under the pillow, because that's one of what I love saying to people. Let your light shine.
Shining your light, you know.
You gotta put it
Okay,
in
so
the
the
window so
saps on the
everybody-
tree.
Yeah.
It's also us. That there's something happens to us when it's a full moon.
It's-
I mean, we're talking about women's,
well,
monthly, but with us as humans, how the moon can affect
See,
us.
And again, you're going to just you as women, but not knowing that even men are actually women too. It's pretty crazy, but it's just a different world for us.
It is, but it's
It is.
exquisite.
I like hearing that.
I love all the
because it's-
indigenous cultures, even
Yeah.
the American Indians, like
Well,
their
it
connection.
makes us all more balanced too, because
Yeah,
we're
very
all,
true.
that way.
Very
Then
true.
I think
Exactly.
people listening to that sometimes could sort of hear like the man, the woman, and the domination, this sort of stuff. I think then it's sort of a thing of when you say that, it makes us feel as human beings because we're all equal
Exactly.
on planet Earth,
You
whether
gotta
you
know
live
your
wherever
value.
Well, you
gotta
said
know
it,
your
Mother
balance.
Nature. She's female
Wow.
energy.
Well, I want you
Nurturing.
guys to write in and DM us, and if there's any sort of questions or anything there, you've talked about sparking a flame or sparking. The moon is shining there. The stars, I think, was shining that little
Let
bit brighter.
the flames roar.
You know what I love too is when you go out, and I've done a few trips and I've been out. Whether it was for us in the outback or I love nature walks. And then at night time. under the stars, when you are out of a big city, you know, without all the noise,
Yeah.
as you're sort of saying there,
Exactly.
where you live, we get a little touch of it.
Yeah.
It's just the joy, and
Yeah.
you hear the sounds,
Yeah.
and you hear all that. I go,
And your senses
it's the
come
most
alive.
exciting thing. I mean, no 7-star hotel, as much as you love a bit of,
Yeah.
the so-called good life.
Yeah,
Leave
it's
that
true.
behind to what Mother Nature can give. Really, it's just
It's a
incredible.
gift.
And that's the beauty of our world, is that you used to see stars, we see a whole language. We get to go out, and when we hear a certain bird or when we hear noise in the bush, we know what's going on in the ocean. Like, we know when there's sharks moving around. We know when
Because
there's
you
bait
feel
fish.
it. A lot of
Because
people are disconnected from
we're
feeling.
not just feeling it, we're listening to now.
It's like all the senses coming alive.
Yeah, if we're seeing, they do not see, and hearing, they do not
Seeing, hearing.
hear what the Spirit
feeling.
says to them.
Love it.
Well,
So,
she-
so are there more
Teaching us-
sharks
Yeah.
in the
No, there
oceans
isn't.
than ever, or is
There's
it
not more
normal?
sharks more than ever, but there
They're
are
closer to the
sharks that
beach
are
more
out
than
there.
ever, aren't
So
they?
there's
You
more
know,
bull
they-
sharks,
No.
and they're the ones that have been attacking.
No, there's only if.
But there's-
okay. Let's.
But just basically, because we're going to have to wrap this up soon.
And I
But
understand that.
In essence, is
In
there
essence
more
of-
sharks,
no.
or is it right?
If there is because of one predominant species
Yeah.
of a tree that's actually missing its function in the earth.
Mango.
Mangroves.
Yeah, mangroves. I remember you
mangroves,
talking
yeah.
about
Why?
that.
Yeah.
Well,
We
as
love
you
that
s-
story
Yeah.
too.
Yes,
Well,
and I'd love to go into that
We'll
story.
go
And
into
as you
that,
know,
but that's
that
Yeah.
interesting how then one thing affects the other.
Mangroves absorb,
50% more carbon than every other tree.
which is remarkable.
Which is really, really remarkable. You know what's really, really remarkable about it? We have 30 million people on this lovely continent that we live on called Australia. Beautiful, right? And we have rainforests and trees all around this country. Did you know that my people only make up 3% of this world, of this continent?
Mm-hmm.
You know how much mangroves make up? 3%.
Oh. Oh.
That's why we have a massive job too, as First Nations people. Why? Because we're custodians. We've been actually imprinted. We've been chosen to actually look after her. Of all the race of the people on the face of the earth, we've been chosen to look after Australia. Everyone doesn't look at that,
But we can all do our bit.
but we can all do our bit.
All
we
of
can all
us.
do a bit,
So
and it's
now
great when you
that's
teach
where
it.
both
Yeah.
worlds come in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not only just tech, but I mean a westernized world and a cultural world that comes together
Yeah.
in the place of, I'm not saying heal her, because at the end of the day, she's so resilient. COVID proved
She'll
it.
be here after
Yeah.
us.
Long way after us.
Yeah.
The resilience.
The
that-
resilience
Yeah.
that she has is crazy.
Yeah.
But we get connected to her. Not only just our nation gets healed, not only our people. You have to realize something. We should be a light to every country. Remember, don't put your light underneath your pillow.
Yeah, I love that
Oh,
line.
we love that one.
That's a beautiful way to
It
finish.
certainly is. And so
Yeah.
you're heading back home
John,
to
we've
your
loved
family
you.
soon.
We love
I'm
your
heading back
stories.
home to my
Well,
family
you're
soon.
Yeah.
part of our Over the Back Fence family.
You are,
and
literally.
What a
You
jo-
are over the back fence.
Yeah, and you are for
For
all
God.
our
I'm over the
listeners
back
there.
fence.
It's great in the hood, and you know we talk about telling stories. Whatever that. This is like such a real learning and beautiful. It's like another awakening hearing it from you.
It's beautiful.
So thank you so much. But we've
Thanks,
got some of
John,
us
for
good
coming
questions,
in.
and I have to ask you now, even though you know
Yes.
you're so connected to Mother Earth. But our question is, if you could share a back fence with anybody on planet Earth, past or present, who would it be and why? I've got a feeling I know.
Who would it be?
Yeah, who would you choose if you could just right now? I don't know. Have your tea and sit
Chew
down.
the fat
you know,
with.
chew the fat with.
Over
you
the
know,
back
whether it's
fence.
under a tree or wherever. You know.
What if I was to say that not me to choose somebody, but for somebody to choose me? See, we've always been put out there to choose somebody else. But I've been hidden for so long,
Okay.
and this is the first time you've heard it. And yet you've been around First Nations all your life. Or you have multiple people that you've been around, yet you've never heard a language like this before. So my question is, and not saying that I don't want to sit with anybody, but I'm asking the same question to you. Who would like to sit down at my table?
Well, for all of you listening,
Well, you've got
For
a
all
whole
of you
big global
listening.
audience here, and I think you'll be getting the world sitting down to listen
I think
to you. And
there's many a
I think
person.
many people will be hearing your name more,
including me and Nicola.
Yeah, so
A lot of fun.
You know,
I don't want to answer that.
But yeah, no, and that's
But I'd
I love
rather-
it.
no, that's
Okay,
great.
next question. What makes you happy?
My wife,
Oh,
Well, what's her name?
Chiquita.
Chiquita.
Beautiful
That
name.
is lovely.
Howdy. Shout
And
out.
we just got to tell, because we like a little bit of sort of the fun stories too. When we first met, Di was saying, I'm from 8, and you were saying that, you know, you're a grandfather
yeah.
in your 40s. How many was there one family goes back, there's 23, is that correct?
So my
Or-
wife, my family, my mum and ma are a family of 10,
Yes.
and my wife's family is a family of 18.
18.
18.
No, that's it,
Yeah.
18.
But their
Wow.
family friends has a family of 23.
That's it, I remember that.
So
Yes,
one
yeah.
woman delivered 23 babies. Pretty remarkable.
Wow.
Pretty remarkable.
Well, look, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Virginia. I feel
Thanks,
so...
guys,
Yeah.
for listening. And
Yeah.
I hope you took a moment to absorb some of those magnificent stories about reconnecting. And the thing that resonated with me, get your shoes off, get your feet to feel nature.
I agree. So Di's wearing the boots,
feel
kick
the
them
earth
off.
under your feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
On that note,
It's just been
take care,
fantastic,
guys.
yeah.
We love you all.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can
And
watch us on YouTube.
you
Watch
can.
John. Share
Don't forget YouTube,
Share this
yeah.
one and let us know.
Oh, you can subscribe
what you
to
think
YouTube
too.
too.
Yeah, it's free.
It doesn't cost anything, and
Yeah.
it's a visual and also
We got the good
audio.
studio, so it looks sort of good. But thanks for tuning
Thanks,
in,
guys.
and we'll be
Yeah.
back at yours next
Ciao.
week. Ciao, ciao. Wow.
That was amazing.